Hello everyone, I am the Caffeinated Critic, and here we review new films and new series, and we do not finish the review until I finish this cup of coffee. And today we are reviewing Project Hail Mary. This might be one of the most emotional sci-fi films of the year, but it also is one of the longest. So stay tuned to the end of the video to see if this film worked for me, and if you should go out and watch it soon. So does Project Hail Mary actually earn a long runtime, or does it just get lost in space? Let's find out. Book adaptations like this are not easy to make, and oftentimes it doesn't have a strong enough story or characters or an originality to hook an audience. So without further ado, let's start with what worked in this film. The first thing that works here is Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace. His performance is the backbone of the entire film. In order for it to work, we need to care about his character and the journey that he's going on. He makes you feel the isolation, the fear, and the confusion of going on an unknown adventure where you may die. There is a pressure on him that is bigger than anything he could ever imagine. He also is quite humorous, and the humor doesn't feel forced, and instead feels organic with the rest of the narrative. The writing is witty, it's fun, and it prevents the film from being too heavy-handed. There's a really good balance in this film between scientific explanations and humor that allows accessibility for plenty of audience members. Now, we need to talk about the relationship between Grace and Rocky. That is truly the heart of this film. If you don't want any spoilers about the film, none at all, this is a very minor spoiler, then you can go ahead and turn off now. If not, please continue watching. It's worth it. Their relationship is built slowly throughout the film, and that's what makes it so effective. At first, I wasn't sure about Rocky and Grace's relationship because Rocky itself is an alien, and it just didn't feel organic and right. However, over time, you realize Rocky is really Grace's only friend in space. This bond feels really real and adds an emotional weight to the film that I was not expecting. Another thing that the film does really well is how it reveals information over time. Just like the novel, we flash back to Ryland's discovery of the mission and what it means for him, and then we flash forward to when he's actually on the mission in space. The film slowly unfolds information about what the project is, what it means for Earth, and the stakes that are involved. This gradual discovery keeps the audience engaged and really keeps you going through the long runtime that this film has. Alongside the narrative, the visuals of this film are also very well done. The cinematography in space is truly fantastic, along the lines of Gravity, Star Wars, and many other space opera films that we've seen before. But one thing that really stands out to me is the colors in this. The colors are very vibrant, including vibrant greens and oranges, and several unique tones that I don't normally see in science fiction films. Then we should talk about the musical score here. The score is propulsive, engaging, and really drives the momentum of this film forward. It adds true urgency to some really tense moments, and then it also knows when to calm down and when to be more mellow during more softer scenes. Another dynamic between two characters in this film that works really well is Ryland Grace and Eva Stratt. Stratt has this cold, no-nonsense approach that is a direct foil to Grace's witty and humoristic approach. This contrast creates a lot of tension between those two characters, and it allows for some really good conflict throughout the story. And overall, the film really is an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes you're having fun, sometimes you feel really sad, and sometimes you're just excited to be on the ride. The setup of the film also really works. It clearly establishes the stakes that these astronauts are going into space, and it's basically a suicide mission for them. It also establishes that these characters are willing to sacrifice their lives for the greater good. You understand that the mission isn't just a mission, it's everything for these people. And now that we've touched on how the narrative and the visuals of the story really complement it well, now we can talk about what doesn't work here. And there are only a couple of things here that I would like to touch on. There are stretches of the film where the pacing slows down enough where I was kind of wanting more action and something more engaging to be happening. An example is a scene in a karaoke bar. The scene doesn't really add all that much to the story except establishing a relationship between Ryland and Eva. However, I feel like it could have been cut out entirely because of where their relationship goes in the film. And in a film that's pushing 2 hours and 40 minutes, moments like these could have been cut out to allow for more concise storytelling. So, with all this being said, does Project Hail Mary stick the landing? I would say yes. For the most part, it does. It's excellent. It's not perfect, it's a bit too long, but the story is really compelling and you really care about the character. If you really enjoy character-driven science fiction with a lot of heart and stakes, you're going to really like this one. So, on the caffeinated scale, I will give this, damn, that's a fine cup of coffee. And look at that, I have finished the coffee. I hope you feel as caffeinated as me now that I've finished my cup of coffee. Please leave me movie review recommendations in the comments section down below. In the meantime, I will continue brewing new reviews for you soon. See you next time.